However, they're coming off a loss this week to Port Jefferson, 70-63. They're 7-4 in the league. Everybody figured that they would be battling for the top spot with Amityville and Babylon, a club that has been an overachiever.
The weakness of the Wyandanch Ball Club is the fact that their guards do not really handle the ball well. They turn over the ball.
And Babylon will probably put some pressure on. Stan and I will be back to talk to both coaches when we return. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network.
Walsh, coach of the Babylon Panthers. Now, Coach, we know all about Mr. Bruss and what he can do, his awesome statistics. Tell us about some of the unsung heroes of your ball club, and what do they have to do today to beat these Warriors?
Okay, the other players, Billy McGowan and Tom Ryan, have been unsung. They've gone to the boards. They've contributed offensively as well as defensively for us. And also our two guards, Pat Cronin and Matt Lazarus. You won't see them much in the stats as far as scoring, but they've done very, very well for us handling the ball and playing defense and playing the role that they have to play for us. In order for us to be successful today, we have to prevent Wyandanch from getting second shots, and we can't let them run.
Coach, their Achilles heel, their guards, their point guard. They run 3 or 4 of them in there in a ball game, and it tells you the story. What are you going to do to try to exploit this weakness?
Well, we want to pressure them. We're going to pressure them both zone and man-to-man pressure, and on and off and on and off, and try to change up on them so that they can't see the same thing throughout the whole game.
First ball game, 1 point. I got a feeling it's going to be as close in this second game. Now let's go over to Barry Landers. He's standing there with Carl Gainey.
Barry Landers, Stan Kellner back at courtside, both teams completing their warm-ups, and let's go to the PA announcer for the introductions of tonight's starting lineups.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Babylon High School Gymnasium for the final League 6 game of the season between the Warriors of Wyandanch and the Babylon Panthers. And now the starting lineup for Wyandanch. Number 43, senior Mike Francis. Number 23, senior Euless Bird. Number 35, senior Kevin Brown. Number 33, senior Darrell Bonds. And number 25, senior Dwight Lucas. The coach for Wyandanch is Mr. Carl Gainey.
Carl Gainey in his 7th year. The Warriors 10-7 this year, 7-4 in league play. Coming off a 23-4 year, 2 straight New York State championships, Class C. Now for the homestanding Babylon Panthers.
Number 20, senior Pat Cronin. Number 12, senior Matt Lazarus. Number 24, junior Bill McGowan. Number 42, junior Tom Ryan. And number 52, junior Matt Rust. The coach for Babylon, Mr. Greg Walsh, assisted by Robert Mayo and Don Barch.
Greg Walsh is 6 years head coach, an outstanding job here, replacing a legend, Roy Coble. And of course, this Babylon club has had a great tradition. Likewise, Wyandanch, they've won state championships. Babylon had great teams in the mid-70s with the Vicker brothers here. Stan, what do you look for, especially at the outset of this game?
2 great ball clubs, but 2 conflicting styles. The run and jump and the really aggressive play of the Wyandanch Warriors, and Babylon playing a half-court game.
Now the crowd rising for the playing of our national anthem. Having a bit of trouble with the record. So we're ready to go on this League 6 confrontation. Babylon with a chance to tie Idle Amityville for the league championship. And there are the officials, Nick Casanis and Joe Elsacer. Joe, the short of the two gentlemen, and Nick holding the basketball right now. And let's take a look at the League 6 standings. As we told you, Amityville idle today. They have a record of 10-2. Babylon 9-2, so they've got a chance, should they win it, to be co-champs. Wyandanch 7-4, Fort Jeff 6-4, John Glenn 3-8, Riverhead 2-8, and Bayport 1-10. Send any keys at the outset you look for?
Boards, 6 feet away from the basket. Can the Babylon's little guys battle the big guys from Wyandanch?
And we're underway as Babylon controls the basketball. We'll identify the players as we go. Babylon controlling, and the jumper by Billy McGowan puts Babylon in front.
Who says that the Panthers can't hit the 15-foot jump shot? Billy McGowan.
Wyandanch will move the ball quickly, liking to go sometimes inside to Kevin Brown, and a whistle and a foul call as the entry pass went inside to Dwight Lucas, the 6'4 senior, and a foul called on Babylon. It'll be on Bill McGowan, his first. We'll identify the Wyandanch players from outside. Darrell Bonds, the 6'2 senior, averaging 12 points. Got a high of 32 this year against Hempstead. Ties up the game at 2-2. Babylon breaks the pressure. And I think Babylon looks to that they're going to try to press Stan a little bit here. They think the Wyandanch guards are vulnerable. McGowan from the corner again. Battle inside. McGowan will put it up. Rejected by Brown as he got a piece of it. And the Big Ten 6'10 center dishes it off. Wyandanch's Euless Bird with a 17-footer. Wyandanch will follow again. No good this time on the missed Dwight Lucas. And quickly up court it goes, Matty Lazarus to Pat Cronin. Matt Bruss playing outside, number 52.
Barry, the design of this 2-3 zone is to keep Matt Bruss right where he is right now. He's got to get back into the zone and get going.
Left-handed shot from outside by Matt Lazarus, and a foul underneath on Babylon. It'll go on Billy McGowan. Non-shooting foul, a rebounding foul.
Interesting flow of the ball game. Billy McGowan's taking a shot, 2 shots. Matt Lazarus is taking a shot. So far, Matt Bruss has not gotten into the offense. I'm sure the Babylon coach, Greg Walsh, is concerned.
Well, this Babylon club is not deep. They don't have a deep bench. McGowan picks up his second foul on that last one. Dwight Lucas, the miss, the follow by Mike Francis. And Wyandanch takes a 4-2 lead. Francis, the 6'4 senior, averaging 13 points, a ballgame second best shooter on the ball club.
The 6'4 reached right over Billy McGowan, 5'11.
Pat Cronin. McGowan with those 2 fouls. He's got to be careful. Back outside. The guards handle the ball. 12, the lefty, Matt Lazarus. Tommy Ryan in the corners, 42. Had 21 in his last ball game against Riverhead. He's a guy that they're going to look for offense from. McGowan moving inside. Bruss the follow. Tough guy inside. Matt Bruss at 6'5", 190. Averaging 28 points a ball game. He has his first 2.
Matt said, I'm not going to get the ball in the offense. I have to get it myself off the boards. Got it and went right to back to the glass. Matt Bruss is not getting the ball. Now, Matt Bruss will get the ball when it really counts in this ball game. You'll see him slide in there, take a power dribble, use his left hand, and lay it up softly off the glass.
We're tied at 4-4, 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. McGowan back outside. It'll go to Cronin. Matty Lazarus. McGowan 24. 20 is Cronin. Ryan from the corner. Now inside McGowan, looking for help. Lazarus brings it back out. Bruss getting the pick. Matt Bruss, who's an exceptionally fine shooter from outside. Bruss shooting 57% from the field, averaging 28 points a ball game to go with close to 20 rebounds.
Barry, when you're scoring 28 points, you shoot them up from all different areas. Now, he took that 16-foot shot. It's a shot that he's going to have to take a year from now when he's in college. A year and a half from now. He's only a junior.
Oh, boy. And a lot of colleges are interested in him. His brother, of course, Chris, plays for North Carolina. Backup position, was a star here at Babylon in high school. Look at Bruss down the middle. And it is now 6-4, or check that. It is now 8-4. Babylon leading by 4. 6 points for Brust.
Matt found a driving lane, went hard to the basket. The 6'5" went right to the iron and shot it up. Very tough shot. You'll see it on an instant replay because he's got to relax his wrist to throw this up. He can't use the backboard on this play. He's got to go. Well, he's using the backboard. No, he's not. He's going right for the iron, and he keeps a relaxed wrist, which allows him to throw up a soft shot.
From the corner, Wyandanch connecting. Mike Francis with his second bucket. He has 4. And Babylon being pressed in the backcourt. Brust quickly to Ryan. Babylon 8, Wyandanch 6. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go, first quarter. Wyandanch averages 66 points a game. Babylon with the 2 points averages 61. Matt Brust, who averages 28, has 8 already in the first quarter.
He challenged Kevin Brown, number 35, 6'10" senior. It wasn't big enough to handle Matt Brust.
Brown, who prefers taking the jump shot rather than mixing it up inside, has a nice soft touch. And the big 6'10" youngster connects. A lot of schools interested in Brown, aren't they, Stan?
A lot of Division I schools, Duquesne, St. Francis of Pennsylvania, of New York. A lot of Division I schools. Hasn't reached his potential, but he's got to get a spark.
He's slimly built. He can certainly put on a lot of weight. Ryan with a nice bucket inside as he slipped in and banked it in. And Babylon leading by 4, 12-8.
Tommy Ryan is a junior, plays the bagpipes very well, did it at camp, and he's picked up a lot of slack and taken the pressure off Matt Brust.
Wyandanch getting those second shots that they were worried about. Now possibly a third, but it's taken away by McGowan. So Wyandanch missing the outside opportunities. Mike Francis had a couple of tries there and couldn't connect. Ryan working baseline, fouled inside. He'll go to the line. So Tommy Ryan coming off the big ball game the other day, as Babylon had 2 big wins. They battled back to beat Port Jefferson in overtime and then came up with a victory the other day over Riverhead.
Tommy in a low post, getting the ball, squaring off, protecting the body. Now, he's not driving to score, although it looks like he's scoring. His purpose is to draw the foul. This is where he wants to be, on a free throw stripe, and he's putting the big guys into foul trouble and making them more tentative defensively.
Mike Francis, the foul, his first, as Ryan misses the free throw. He has another. Tommy, a 54% free throw shooter, a high of 22 this year, averaging around 10 points a game. Mr. Clutch has won a couple of games this year. Big basket in overtime to win the Port Jefferson game, and 2 free throws to win a John Glenn game in overtime. And Babylon has played a lot of close games this year, Stan. They're only 2 losses by 1 point and 5 points to Amityville. Darrell Bonds missing the follow inside, no good, and Dwight Lucas going up for the rebound. I think they're going to call Lucas for a foul. Let's wait and see.
It was on Lucas reaching over. I thought he had inside position, but Nick Kazanis had good position there. He's a top official and called the right play.
First on Lucas, second on the team. 2:45 to go. Babylon with a 5-point lead, 13-8. A lot riding on this for Babylon. Their last won or shared a league championship way back in '78, so it's been 5 years. Best club 2 years ago when they went 16-4, but did not win the league championship. No basket, traveling called on Mr. Matt Brust, who's a super football player, as we told you. Won all state honors as a wide receiver. How about that? A nice 6'5", 195. He slimmed down a little bit, it looked like, Stanford.
Well, he's muscled up a little bit, really. That's what is all that baby fat. We didn't have much of that last year, but he plays so hard, his body's got to get stronger.
Brust commits that last foul. That was his first and the 4th on Babylon, so 1 more, and it'll be a bonus for Wyandanch. 2:20 to go. Wyandanch down by 5.
It's a 2-2-1 half-court press. What they try to do is double up on the side.
And the bucket for Darrell Bonds, the 6'2 senior, averaging 12 now with 4 points. Had an ankle injury. Carl Ganey wasn't sure how much he was going to get out of him. Only has played 10 games. He's the best pure shooter on the club, Darrell Bonds, number 33 in green. Lazarus
and Cronin only averaging 4 points apiece between them. Their responsibility is to orchestrate the offense, get the ball to that man.
Brust missing inside. And Wyandanch gaining control of the ball. Ulyss Bird up to Mike Francis, dishing it off. Wide Lucas, as there's a big collision under the basket. And looks like Ryan is the man who comes up on the short end of it. Tommy Ryan Matt Brust gets up slowly, also one of the Wyandanch players.
You're going to see a collision on the court, but that's not the play that's going to affect the game. The play that's going to affect the game is number 12, Matt Lazarus at midcourt, limping on his bad ankle. Matt, they cannot afford to lose. He is the guy that keeps this offense together, and he is favoring that ankle.
You can tell he is limping as he barely comes across court. Maybe we could pick up an ISO shot of him, number 12. Russ looking inside for Ryan. McGowan open. He hits from that area. And McGowan makes the bucket. Very steady, consistent. Best overall defensive player. There you can see Matty Lazarus struggling. And they're going to be a substitution as soon as the first whistle blows for Babylon. Foul line jumper from Mike Francis makes it 15-14. Babylon by 1.
The officials have to see that. They have not seen that game kid, that young man, Matt Lazarus, with his bad ankle.
Cronin. Back out to Brust. 45 seconds to go in the period. Now they do call. Greg Walsh draws attention to the official about the injury. And we're going to get a substitution for Babylon. Orlando Lopez, number 22, first guard off the bench. Very quick kid who has seen limited action. Will check into the ball game. As you see Matt Lazarus head toward the locker room. They're going to take a look at him. Orlando Lopez, number 22, a 5'7", 160-pound senior. And Stan, that could be a very costly loss. And of course, on the other end, Wyandanch playing without George Cooper, who's been hurt on and off this year.
But Cooper hasn't played for a lot of ball games. Matt Lazarus has to be in that ball game because there's no way they can bring that ball up and just deliver the ball to everybody without him being in there.
Cronin, Rust faking one way, going another, dishing off to McGowan. And McGowan's bucket makes it 17-14.
That would make Roy Coble very proud. The AD here who really developed this offense, and that's a power move where he took the ball from his hip, protected the ball with his body, threw it from his chest, and it was a good offensive power move.
10 seconds to go in the quarter. Babylon by 3. Rust, Cronin, 4. Ryan underneath, trying to reverse it, no good. Brust rejected at the buzzer as the first quarter comes to an end. So after a fiercely fought first quarter of basketball, the score, Babylon 17, Wyandanch 14. We'll be back. You're watching the Long Island Sports. And walking around very well, number 12 for Babylon as we get ready to go for the second quarter. And that has to be a good sign for the Babylon Panthers and Greg Walsh. Greg, who formerly was an assistant coach at St. John the Baptist, played for Ralph Willett at St. Dominic's High School, has done a great job coming in for Roy Coble, one of the legends in high school basketball in Suffolk County. Wyandanch on the tip, trying to cut it to 1 point. Long-range bomber from outside. Mike Francis misses. And this is Lazarus. Let's check his legs, see if he's moving well. Ryan rejected by Kevin Brown, who likes to block shots. He averages around 4 a game, as you might expect from a 6'10" young man. Francis gets the roll. Mike Francis had 10 offensive rebounds in 1 game. Comes up with the bucket. He has 8 points in the ball game, half of his team's total. And the Babylon lead is 1, Stan.
That was an interesting shot by Mike Francis. There was no arc on that shot at all. It just hit the front of the rim, and that allowed an arc to be created, and the ball dropped in.
Rust following his own miss. Cross court Cronin. And look at McGowan try to keep it alive. But Wyandanch pulls it down. And Ulyss Bird with a chance for his club to take the lead. Up court, Dwight Lucas, collision inside. Boy, some heavy collision going on. And it's going to go on Dwight Lucas. That's the second offensive foul, I believe, that Lucas has been called for. And his second team foul.
And it was Pat Cronin, who's really coming on this season. You don't really see him in the statistical part of the ball game, but he took it right on the numbers with that big guy coming down on him.
Pat's especially improved on his defense this year, according to Greg Walsh. That was one area. He was a fine shooting guard, good passer. He's really worked hard on it. McGowan knocked away inside as he's been able to slip in on this defense inside as they've been paying special attention to Matt Brust.
And it was a nice job by Kevin Brown, who decided not to get frustrated and wait for the ball to get up on its arc and then just snare her away.
Lucas loses the ball off his leg, and Dwight averaging 13 points a game. The steadiest and hardest worker on the club. Loses the ball, and Babylon with a 1-point lead has the basketball. Babylon has not made a substitution except briefly when Lazarus went out for the injury. And a foul on the attempted steal. It'll go on the Wyandanch Warriors' Ulyss Bird, the 5'10 senior, who recently became a starter. He's had some problems at times, out of control. Good defensive player, all-division fullback, and a guard for Wyandanch. They had a fine football team this year as they came around to win their league championship, first time in many years.
If the Warriors are going to do anything in the playoffs, that man, number 23, has to stabilize that offense.
Matt Bruss slipping inside with a power move, and it's 19-16. Bruss with 10 of his club's 19 points. As we mentioned, coming off a 38-point effort in his last game.
That's that half-court trap that they have. It looks like a man-to-man. They match up on the guards, force it down the sideline, run and jump at the ball, and try to make things happen.
Lucas with 4, and the Babylon lead down to 1, 19-18. McGowan, who's been taking a lot of shots, now playing in the corner. Return for Bruss, powering his way inside, and a foul inside. Let's see who it's going to be on. Is it going to be a goaltending? Well, let's see.
No, 2 shots, no goaltending. It looked like goaltending from here. Let's see if the ball's on a downward flight. There he is, finding the seam, the gap, going up there, and bang. Could have been on the way up. As far as Nick Casanis is concerned, it was on the way up.
Brown.
I'm sorry, but I just wanted to say this. I spoke to Matt before the game, Barry. I said, what goes through your mind before you shoot a free throw? And he said, I do 2 things. I make 2 free throws in my mind. Now, he's making 2 more in his mind right now. He's knocking it in.
Brown committed the foul. That was his first and the team's 5th. Matty looking for point number 11. He does not get it as he misses 2, and Wyandanch with a chance to take the lead here. Brown, who drew that foul just a moment ago, going to be called for an offensive foul as he plowed right in on the other end. He wanted to get it back.
Well, Kevin, what he wants to really do is jam the ball. See, this is what he likes to do. He's wanted to do that since his junior year, freshman year. He wanted to get up there, but he left his feet instead of stopping. There was no alley for him, and he got called for it.
2 fouls for Brown very quickly here. 5:24 to go, first half. Babylon by 1. Cronin. Bruss setting up at the baseline. Now Bruss looking for the ball, coming out. Ryan. Cronin.
Look how deliberate they are. They're looking for a high-low situation against the zone. They'll skip it over. The 2 players will cross inside. We use this offense in college when Roy Coble was working with me as an associate coach with me, and it's a great offense, but it's got to be drilled.
Ryan. Bruss battling, and this time Bruss going to be called for the foul on Kevin Brown. So Bruss nails it on the foul, and for Bruss, that will be his 2nd foul and the 5th on the team, so it'll be a 1-and-1 for Kevin Brown on the other end. And Wyandanch with a chance to take the lead. They have never led in this game. In the last game they played, Babylon came back from a 10-point deficit, only to lose by 1. So Brown at the line, where he's a 56% free throw shooter. Kevin hits the first, he'll have another. He's played only the last 6 games, Stan. Missed half the season because of poor grades. Lacks stamina at times, disappointing, but you said when you have a 6'10 body and he's pretty quick and he has a nice touch from the outside, a lot of teams willing to take a chance on you.
Teams like Utica, University of Pittsburgh, BU, Boston College, Big East League.
We're tied. And quickly off the miss, stolen away by Lazarus. Brust. Nice pass off. McGowan faking on Brown. The basket will count. Tough move inside. Billy McGowan over the 6'10 Kevin Brown. Brown commits his 3rd foul, and that spells trouble for Carl Gainey as quickly he's bringing somebody in off the bench.
This is going to be a fantastic replay because you're going to see technique. Now watch Billy McGowan shoot the ball from his left side, right off his hip, against 6'10". It goes in, 3-point play. I can't tell you how many times they drill that each and every day in practice.
So the big guy sits down with 3 fouls. Darrell Lucas, the brother of Dwight Lucas, checks in. Number 41, 6'6" sophomore, who's had an ankle problem. He's only 15 years of age as McGowan makes the three-point play, and Babylon's lead is 22-19. McGowan with 11 points, 5 field goals, and 1 free throw. Knocked away by Lazarus from behind, but he commits a foul. And stepping to the free throw line will be for Wyandanch, number 23, Ulyss Bird, a 50% free throw shooter. Wyandanch shoots free throws at 62%. Babylon, excellent for high school, 70%.
Well, because they work on it. You know, Matt Lazarus did what I call a tickle foul. He just tickled him with his chest. And that is the worst of all fouls because it doesn't accomplish anything.
Bird with his first point. He's averaging 8. And he brings his club to within 1. It's Babylon 22, Wyandanch 21. 4:15 to go. First half, it's been a good one. These two rivals go at it tooth and nail here in League 6. Matty Brust from the corner. And Brust with his 6th field goal. He has 12 points.
No reason why he should be left alone in the corner to take a shot when he's averaging 28 points.
Mike Francis, who's been hot too, he has 10 points, 3 below his season average. And again, Babylon down to a 1-point lead. McGowan. Cronin. Lazarus against the zone. Brust coming out to look for the ball. Ryan. Babylon patient, looking for the good opportunity here.
Interesting thing about Babylon, they're throwing it to white shirts as they should throw it to white shirts. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty time, number 52, they'll find number 52 and they'll look for him because he can score when he wants to.
Although when Brust was in foul trouble, Stan, and fouled out of the game, McGowan and Ryan the other day in that big victory over Port Jefferson were the key men.
That's because they're disciplined and that's because they're drilled. And each one of these players, role player right now, can take over and be a star when they have to.
Ryan coming off the big game in the corner at 21 points, season high.
Look at the patience.
Babylon by 1. They've eaten up about 1 minute and 10 seconds of the clock here. They lead 24-23. Brust.
Warrior defense will get lazy somewhere along the line. They'll get lazy. The back line with Big Brown in the middle get a little tired. They'll find a seam and go to the basket.
Down to 2:25 to go. Cronin. Brust with 2:15.
Defense is almost stoned now. They're not moving.
McGowan slipping inside. He slipped inside of Darrell Lucas, who replaced Kevin Brown in the ball game. And a beautiful basket makes it 26-23.
That's a lesson for anybody out there in basketball land that wants to be a ball player or wants to coach. Learn to be patient, learn the skills, and go at them.
Darrell Bonds missing outside, and Babylon with 1:45 to go, holding a 3-point lead. Brust, watched by Darrell Bonds.
Panthers playing a game called position inside. They're trying to get someone down low. They're trying to get somebody up high, and they're going to go 2-on-1 against the middle man, Mr. Brown.
McGowan back outside to Cronin, 1:15 to go. Lazarus holding the ball now. McGowan in the corner.
That's Darrell Lucas inside. I'm sorry, not Brown inside, but he's putting his hands together over his head, and that's rest position.
55 seconds to go. So Babylon playing the possession game, and Wyandanch has to come out and play him. They're behind as the officials started to count the seconds off. 45 to go.
Physically, this ball club, Babylon, is like a JV team in terms of size with one block of granite in the middle there. But what they do is they rarely turn over the ball and they get their shots. And it's usually a shot 5 feet or less to the basket.
We're down to 25 seconds and a half. And now Brust holding the ball on the side court. 15. McGowan in the corner.
Game of chess.
10 seconds. You know who they want to shoot it. It'll be Brust. He's triple teamed. Brust with 5 will put it on. Triple team, gets up for the shot and was fouled. So with 2 seconds to go, they ran about 2.5 minutes off the clock all told, and they'll end up with a couple of Matt Brust free throws and will go off leading at halftime.
Now try to think back, Barry, in all the high school games we've covered the last couple of years when you've seen this, the deliberate, effective play, the discipline, the control, and then just picture perfect going up at the right moment. There they are. There he is at the free throw line with 2 seconds left.
Matt 0 for 3 now after missing that one. He's a 78% free throw shooter. Now, there's a brief discussion with the officials and Carl Ganey over there.
Carl Ganey thought Matt Brust should have gotten a one-on-one.
So he misses that one, too, with 1 second. A foul on Babylon, a very poor foul, because it's going to send with 1 second Wyandanch to the line to pick up a couple of points. Possibly it could be a 4-point play off the 2 misses by Brust, and a couple of free throws coming up for Dwight Lucas.
You've seen that so many times where the tide changes so abruptly.
Ryan commits the foul, his second. So Lucas with 4 points, shooting the front end of a 1-and-1, and that will do it. So it doesn't hurt, as it turns out, as the first half comes to an end. Carl Ganey looking up at the scoreboard, talking to the official right now about that lack of 1-and-1. A pained look on the veteran Carl Ganey's face. At the end of the half, the score is Babylon 26, Wyandanch 23. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network. At courtside, Barry Landers and my guest Roy Coble, athletic director here at Babylon High School. Pretty tough ball game so far.
Oh, it's a typical game for us this year. The entire year has gone this way, Barry.
Struggles, close ball games, 1 or 2 points deciding it.
Every game, pretty much every game this year has been just like this. And, you know, that's how our kids got here, and I hope they can hang on a little longer and pull this whole thing out.
Roy, we had a chance to watch your girls earlier on the LISN. I know that you're proud of not only the fine basketball boys program that you've established. Of course, you were a coach for many years here, did a fine job, but some of the other sports here at the school.
Well, the girls program is going real well, I feel. We have a good field hockey team. Our softball teams have been competitive. The girls basketball, volleyball has been successful. The gymnastics team is good. So we feel good about it, and we're getting more and more participation, and I think we're going to add one more girls junior high team next year. So our enrollment's going down, but our athletics is going up, so we feel real good about it.
Your football club always has had an outstanding tradition here at Babylon. You don't have the numbers, but you generally have very competitive kids. You have kids who play 2 or 3 sports.
Most of our kids really are doing something. It's almost like a private school. We have so few kids that unless everybody contributes in some way, we've got a problem. Our football team has come within 1 win each of the last 2 seasons of winning the league championship. And we're fielding 4 football teams from the 7th grade up, and for 470 kids, that's real good.
Let's talk, Roy, about the mixing of academics and athletics in an era, of course, where we see school budgets and economics becoming a critical situation. Babylon seems to have a pretty good hold on that.
I think we really do. I think the people in this community have always been very supportive. If you've come to Babylon games, you know that we have a lot of adult attendance. These are not people who have their kids go to school and they forget about them. They come down here and see what's going on, and they're very supportive. And we believe this is an educational laboratory, really, and it's the only place in the school that some of these lessons are going to be learned. So we're high on doing our job as well as we can on that.
Roy, this is the 2nd year we've been down here at Babylon High School. I want to thank you for the hospitality you've extended the LISN and continued success.
Thanks a lot, Barry.
All right, we'll be back with the start of the 2nd half in just a few moments. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network. Landers, Stan Kellner back at Babylon High School, and in Brust we trust. Matt Brust leading the way for Babylon with a total of 12 points. Let's check the halftime statistics. As you see, Matt averaging 28, Wyandanch trailing in this ball game, and Wyandanch led by Francis with 5 field goals, 10 points. Bonds with 4 points, Lucas with 4, Wyandanch 10 field goals, 3 for 4 from the line, and a total of 26 points. And remember, this Wyandanch club averages 66, so that's 40 points off their, of course, season average for the whole game. Babylon Panthers, on the other hand, averaging 61 points. We're leading at 26-23, led by Brust, who had 6 field goals, 0 for 4 from the line. Unusual for Matt, a good free throw shooter, 12 points. McGowan with 11, Ryan with 3. For the team, 12 field goals, 2 for 7 from the line, 26 points.
Craig Walsh told me before the ball game that he was going to go right at Kevin Brown. Kevin has 3 personal fouls on him. Unfortunately, the Panthers did not convert on their free throws. They're a good free throw shooting team, and they should convert. There's Bobby DePoto.
There is our producer, Bob DePoto, who's been working out with cybernetics. He's running faster, jumping higher.
Why is he wearing his coat indoors?
I don't know. It's pretty warm here at Babylon. And there are some of the fans here, and they do get great community support down here in the village of Babylon for their teams. Mom, Dad, the kids out here. And it's nice to see, Stan. We've had excellent crowds all year on the LISM. We had a great crowd at Hicksville the other night for that big doubleheader with Farmingdale and Hicksville. Had a great crowd when we were down here last year, and you can see part of the good crowd on an afternoon, on a work afternoon here in Babylon. There's Carl Ganey. What do you think he's told his kids?
Well, he wants to make sure that that big guy doesn't get in foul trouble, so they've got to prevent Brust from getting the ball, because once he gets the ball inside, he's 1-2 steps away from the basket, and you're 1-2 steps away, he told his Warriors, from a foul. So don't let him get the ball inside.
All right, Brown starting the second half. The big guy, number 35, with 3 fouls. He'll be jumping center with Matt Brust. Brust at 6'5", Brown at 6'10". Babylon leading by 3. Only 3 players have scored for Babylon. The guards have not scored. McGowan, Ryan, and Brust have all 26 points.
McGowan is 1 point over his average at 10 points a game. So you really can't expect too many more points from Billy McGowan. But Matt Brust, who has only scored, I think, 12 points so far, is well underneath his average. And he will pick up a lot of scoring, especially from the free throw line the second half.
All right, Brust and Brown getting ready to go. And the tip controlled by Wyandanch. We'll re-identify the players as we go. From outside, Ulyss Bird gets no roll. It looked like it might drop for him, and it did not. Matt Lazarus, who looks like he may have had his leg taped a little bit. Cross court to Cronin. Back to Brust. And we're going to have 3-second violation called against the Babylon Panthers. So Wyandanch gets the ball back with a chance to close within 1.
One of the few turnovers by the Panthers so far this game.
Yep, for a high school game, very, very few turnovers, especially on the Panther side. Bird is 23, looking for help. Bonds, Lucas, Ryan with the rebound.
Lucas could have gone all the way, had a driving lane all the way, but decided to do what he really wants to do, is take the jump shot. And you live by the jump shot, you die by the jump shot.
Cronin backing off in the corner. McGowan, who likes to drive, likes to play the physical game. Matt Brust, sweet-looking 17-footer with a great touch. One of the reasons why Division I schools are drooling when it comes to Matt Brust, and he still has a year and a half to go before he'll be playing college ball for somebody. Brown inside, got the good position and powered his way in.
Nice move by Mr. Brown. Kevin is strong and big, very sinewy, and if he goes to the basket, there's no stopping him, although Ryan tried to.
28-25. Babylon by 3. Knocked away. Wyandanch on a steal. Can close within 1. Knocked away by Brust off of the hand of Darrell Bond. So a costly turnover for the Warriors when it looked like they were going to get an opportunity basket.
And all the Panthers helping out Joe Elselsar, the official, by pointing down into their basket.
Helps the official, right?
Pointing counts.
McGowan against this Wyandanch zone. They seem a little more active here in the second half, Stan.
Not Kevin Brown.
No.
Kevin Brown is not even moving his fingers. Look at that.
Matt Brust just slipping along the baseline, going in the lane. 16 points for Matt. 4 here in the second half as he started to assert himself, as you would expect from a high school All-American. Francis, 43, inside for Brown. Stolen away. Matt Brust gives it now to Lazarus. You can expect Babylon with the lead as they open it up to be very patient with the ball. and force Wyandanch into a mistake or two.
Well, they are patient, but with Brown inside with 3 fouls on him, he's not going to be any factor except a negative factor on defense. So they can really name their shot if they're willing to hold on to the ball long enough.
Brown in the corner. He can stick it from there. He almost took the shot. Euless Bird. It's been a problem, the point guard spot. Bird, not really a point guard, your greatest ball handler, more of a shooting guard. He'll miss. Lucas with the follow, no good. So Wyandanch starting cold here. They've had 1 bucket in 3 minutes in the second half. As Wyandanch trails by 5. Babylon 30, Wyandanch 25. This is a League 6 confrontation. Babylon trying to tie Amityville for the league championship. Both clubs will be in the playoffs. Babylon will go into the Class A playoffs. Check that. And Wyandanch will be in the Class C playoffs. Babylon will be in the B playoffs. They're a school that fits into the B category size-wise. We'll tell you more about how the playoff structure will be set up later on. Ryan. Just trying to move and get open. He's the only one really moving without the ball. Now McGowan looking in the corner. But Ryan Cronin goes that way.
Right now, the Panthers shouldn't even look for the basket until the Warriors start coming out. Once the Warriors start coming out, and they have to come out or it's a technical, they have a 5-second warning. They have 10 seconds to move.
In the lane, Ryan trying to force his way up, and a foul called on the big guy, Kevin Brown. So they got what they wanted. They were patient, moved the ball inside, and Kevin Brown going to take a big seat on the bench right now. Possibly. He is not sitting down yet.
He'll go to the bench, but he's just taking a route around the gym. He wants those cameras on him just a little longer. Now, here's the problem. The ball cannot get into the middle. Once it gets into the middle, it's going to be foul time.
A body foul. You didn't see it really on the camera because there were bodies, but he must have leaned on him with his chest, Brown, and he did get called for the foul. So Lucas replaces him in the ball game. Matt Bruss with a left-hand move.
And there was contact twice on Matt Bruss. And Lucas fouled him inside, but he was not to be denied the iron.
Another substitution. This is Horace Bryson, number 11 for Wyandanch. As they've made 2 substitutions, Francis rushed with a rebound. So Wyandanch down by 7. This is the biggest lead for Babylon. 3:40 to go as the Wyandanch Warriors finding a lid on their basket.
Reminds me of the game last year. We had Harborfields in this gym, and once the Warriors have to come out man-to-man, that's the kind of shot that shouldn't be thrown up even by Matt Bruss. But they're going to have to come out. As soon as they come out, they're going to score. The Panthers are going to score a lot of points on transition.
Babylon leading by 7, 3:15 to go. And the baseline move by Brust. He stepped on the end line. And on the turnover, the ball goes over to the Warriors. They need a basket here, Stan, to kind of change the momentum. They're only down by 7, but 7 awfully big the way this game has been going.
Especially the way the Panthers are playing offense and the Warriors are playing defense.
Bryson pulling up. He can't buy it. And Ryan with the rebound.
The difference in this ball game, Barry, is the letter P, patience. One team has it, one team doesn't.
McGowan.
But there's a lot of respect by Wyandanch extended to the Babylon ball players. They're afraid to come out on them.
Cronin losing the ball as it was deflected, and Darryl Lucas looking to pass it off to Horace Bryson. Very nervous. Learned how to settle down. He's been impressive looking. Started the last 3 games at the point guard. At times shaky, Stan, but has a lot of potential, although D-Lo, as he's called, Horace Bryson, getting an opportunity to see what he can do after playing a couple of shaky games.
You're going to see Pat Cronin do that little tickle foul, looking with his chest. He should let the man go. He was really thinking about letting the man go, but he was too close, and the official anticipated the play and called it.
Francis pulling up. Strong rebound inside by Dwight Lucas, and the 6'4" senior with his 3rd bucket. He has 6 points. And it's a 5-point Babylon lead. Ryan underneath. Deflected by Lucas. Bryson back the other way, and he's a little bit out of control. He wanted to go one way, his body went the other.
Yes, he did, and he was lucky well, I should say the Panthers were lucky because Mr. Tommy Ryan came down, made body contact, but the walk was just a second before the body contact.
Babylon by 5, 2 minutes to go. Third quarter. Barry Landers, Stan Kellner here on the Long Island Sports Network. Hope wherever you're watching, Nassau and Suffolk counties, you're enjoying our high school basketball. We've got St. Agnes and Lutheran coming up later, along with Holy Family and Chaminade. That'll wrap up our regular season high school schedule. Then wrestling championships from Nassau and Suffolk, the playoffs. Knocked away, but restolen alertly by Cronin.
And when they re-steal the ball, it's like resetting the clock. Here it goes for another 45 seconds.
Inside Ryan as he slipped inside, and off the brush pass, Ryan makes it 34-27. 5 points for Ryan.
And the Warriors didn't want another 45 seconds of the Panthers handling the ball, and they just got sloppy on defense.
Inside to Lucas, and as he got the pass, hit from behind. And on the team, that'll only be the second foul, and it'll be a non-shooting foul. Pat Cronin picks up number 2 on the personal side. And the Warriors needing some kind of offense here as Lazarus knocks it out of bounds. 1:14 to go, third quarter. Bryson double team. He's had trouble coughing the ball up this year. Luckily gets it desperately into the corner.
He picked up his pivot foot on that play.
Nothing going for the Warriors offensively here. Brust with the rebound. They've had only 4 points in the 7 minutes played in this third quarter. Babylon by 7, 54 seconds to go. And the way they've been going, they'll probably sit on the ball.
Yeah, they'll sit on it until the other team comes out, and the Warriors have to come out. You're watching a ball club that perhaps is the best coach ball club in Suffolk County.
That's saying a lot, Stan Kellner.
It certainly is, and it's a well-earned label to this ball club. You've got to realize this, that they're so close to the bottom team and so good to the so close to the top team in scores. That's an indication that they're overachieving.
Well, they average 61. Opposition gets 55. They're very close in all their games. And as Lazarus goes down the lane, we're going to get an offensive foul called on Matt Lazarus. With 21 seconds to go, Lazarus picks up his second foul, and Wyandanch gets the ball back.
And I think it was Darryl Lucas, number 41, that courageously stepped in there. I think it was Darryl Lucas, number 41. Let's see if he's the one to pick up the foul. Stays right up there in good position, just battles his position and stays with it.
Back to the live action. Babylon commits a foul on the drive inside underneath by Dwight Lucas. And the 6'4" senior, who hangs in the air very well, may be the best overall player on the team, averaging 13 points. He's been held very much in check with only 6 points tonight, a 79% free throw shooter, and he'll go to the line. Fine football player, along with George Cooper, and maybe we can get a shot of George Cooper on the bench, sitting just a player down from Carl Gainey. He's such a big guy. He's got that shoulder injury, shoulder separation. He's got a cast on it, and Brust pulls down the rebound. There he is, big George Cooper, going to Ohio State. He'll play football for the Buckeyes next year. What an impressive-looking specimen he is. Averaging 25 points a game for a 5-game span. Yeah, he really got off great. 28, 23, 30, and 20 points. First 4 or 5 ball games. And that'll do it for the third quarter. As it comes to an end, Babylon with a 6-point lead. We'll be back. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network. Amityville for the league championship finished the season on an impressive note. They've won 2 in a row this week, looking to make it 3 in a row. They lead 34-28. Wyandanch, what are they going to have to do here in the fourth quarter to get back? It's going to be a completely different ball game for 8 minutes. Wyandanch has to come out, put the pressure on the ball, play their ball game. This will be a big basket because then they can go into the full court press if they score. Darrell Bonds dishing off. Lucas the turnaround, won't go, and Brust's got the rebound. So Babylon with a 6-point lead, 7:45 to go. Babylon has played virtually the same 5 for just about every minute of this game, with the exception of about a minute late in the second quarter when Matty Lazarus was injured and had to leave the ball game. Ryan
Most important player on that court is number 43, Mike Francis. He's trying to push Matt Bruss, get him out of position, but he is the key. If Mike Francis can play defense, clean defense for 8 minutes, the Warriors have a chance.
Mike Francis, speaking of Francis, picks up his second foul, and on the team only the second. Ryan spotting underneath, Bruss. Matt misses, battle for the rebound, and finally picked off by the Wyandanch Warriors' Dwight Lucas. Again, another big possession here. Going away on an errant pass. So Wyandanch killing their chances, Stan. They've scored only 5 points in this second half.
That was just credit to good defense from Babylon. 10 hands in there going for the ball.
Look at that pass. Count the basket, and Ryan was fouled. Beautiful pass from Pat Cronin. They say passing is not his forte, but he showed it there.
But he's been coming on. He made the penetration to the right. He saw Tommy Ryan. Tommy Ryan went to the block. Good ball players know where to go to get the ball. And look how he shoots that ball out in front of him and still control the ball.
Darryl Lucas picks up the foul, his first. And Ryan trying to complete the three-point play. He's a 54% free throw shooter. And he's 2 for 3 from the line now with 10 points on the ball game.
If you had to consider the best team on Long Island with considering three-point plays, you'd have to say Babylon.
Francis, who has been ice cold here in the second half with 12 points. He had all 10 of his previous points in the first half. It's 37-30. 7-point lead for Babylon. A rare shot from Matt Lazarus, and the rebound to Babylon, to Wyandanch.
Lazarus took a bad shot, did not cover back. The coaches spotted it. I had a feeling Bobby Mayo, the coach, was going to come out and cover back himself.
Look at Bruss dive for the loose ball on the floor. It goes out of bounds, and it will be retained by the Wyandanch Warriors. Hustling effort from Matt Bruss, who knows what it's like to go down. He's a football player. From the corner, Francis hits again. 37-32. The 9-point lead is down to 5. 6:13 to go in the game. Reversal of the first game when Babylon came storming back from a 10-point deficit. Lazarus missing. Bruss the follow, and look at the heavy traffic in there. A lot of body contact, and the whistle blows. A foul will be on Wyandanch. I believe it'll be on Darryl Lucas, number 41.
He skied over everybody. He elevated himself to get that rebound over 2 green shirts. Here's the power move to the basket. The ball going over the front of the rim. Matt Bruss, the big guy, number 52, going up as he's done so many times since he was a 9th grader here. With 1 more year to go, you're going to, the fans here at Babylon are going to see that young man go on the boards a lot.
18 points for Matt. He has missed all 5 of his free throws. Yet his club holds a 5-point lead. Now, Matt, remember, is a 78% free throw shooter. 0 for 6 and 2 costly misses because Wyandanch can close to within 3 here, but they will not as the ball deflects off the hands of Dwight Lucas and into the Babylon hands. Boy, Wyandanch is really their own worst enemy here, Stan.
They're not getting good shots. They're bringing up, forcing a pass, forcing a shot.
Lazarus gets a pick from Bruss, penetrating. Cronin in the lane. And a whistle and a foul called. It'll be on the Warriors.
Darryl Bonds used his body, used his hands.
Here's Greg Walsh, the man Stan Counterfield has done the best coaching job here in the county. And there's Carl Gainey, a guy with a lot of talent, guy who struggled this year after winning 2 state championships. At the free throw line coming up, Pat Cronin to shoot 2. He has not scored tonight, but made a great pass a few moments ago. Averages 4 points. At a 64% free throw shooter, a high this year, 10 points against Holy Family.
Carl Gainey is an excellent coach himself. However, he just doesn't have the point man to handle the ball. Bird wants to shoot the ball. You got Sean Ramus playing inconsistently. And, of course, D'Lo. Bryson not playing well.
None of those have played. He's gone all the way practically with Eunice Bird. Cronin with another one. And again, Babylon's free throw shooting really hurting. They've missed 4 in a row here. Once again, Wyandanch can cut to within 3. Francis pulling up. Battle for it. And who comes up with it but number 52? Tough to get the ball away from that guy.
Got a good vertical leap, but he has a good horizontal leap, too.
Babylon again with a 5-point lead, and Lazarus wisely wants timeout as his coach, Greg Walsh, wants to talk things over. Well, Stan, you and I will be heading on our high school schedule Sunday night to Lutheran High School, St. Agnes and Lutheran. How do you size that one up?
Well, that's a perfect matchup. Conflicting styles again, a run and gun team, a ball club like Lutheran that has the big guy. They're going to try to get the ball into the big guy. We're seeing an excellent game here today because two fine ball clubs, two conflicting styles, and that makes for good viewing.
Let's go to Greg Walsh's huddle and tune in.
So we'll go to the other side, and when we do the 20, same thing. Go to the other side, and then make sure Francis doesn't get the offensive rebound, all right? We don't want that. Lads, we can run transition off the miss just to get it up before they can set up, all right? Then we'll run our offense. Run our offense and do our stuff.
Run 3s and 4s and dump the ball inside. Okay?
All right, let's go and tune in on Carl Gainey.
Run it all over again. Come on, now, listen, under defense, you got to play with your hands and get physical, okay? You got to get physical on the ball again. Let's go. Defense. 1, 2, 3, defense.
That's all the Warriors have to hear. You got to get physical, which means there'll be a lot of fouls. Not deliberate fouls, but they can do a lot of reaching. So it's going to be up to the officials to control this ball game. And on the other hand, what Babylon is doing is they're forcing they got their 2 game, which is a man-to-man. They're going to try to force to one side. They want to box out, get their fast break going, their transition game. And if they don't get it, they want to be very deliberate offensively.
Stan, how long do you think he's going to sit Kevin Brown on the bench?
Well, he may be out of the ball game for the rest of the way.
Ryan underneath. Cronin faking, knocked away, and a whistle. Darrell Bonds knocked it away, but Darrell Bonds also commits the foul. So the 6'2 senior nailed for the foul, and on Bonds, that will be foul number 3.
I don't believe Kevin Brown will be in the ball game as long as they're behind, because they're going to keep their full court pressure on, and Brown is not one of their best on the press.
Unbelievably, Babylon misses another free throw, and Glenn Goldberg's going to total up their misses. That's 5 in a row that I can recall, all here in the 4th quarter. They could put this game away.
They were 2 for 7 in the first half.
Another one coming up for Cronin, usually a 64% free throw, and he misses again. So Babylon keeping Wyandanch in the ball game, 3 for 16 at the line, according to Glenn Goldberg. It could be 2, and it is. Lucas makes it a 3-point ball game. Dwight Lucas, 37-34. Babylon by 3, 4:50 to go.
This is going to be a 1 or 2 point ball game. That's why they're missing the free throws. They just got to keep it close for the other ball club.
Why don't you have another Hicksville-Farmingdale finish here? Brust inside, good position.
What a move. What a move. Barry, when he got that ball and started his jump, his back was to the basket. He made his 180 turn in the air and knocked it off the basket.
Air ball, the follow by Lucas again as he puts in the miss by Darrell Bonds. And it's 39-36, Lucas with 11 points.
Dwight Lucas ready to play for the last 4 minutes of his regular season.
Ryan. Lob down low, again, Bruss. Stripped of the ball. It would have been a sure 2 points, and we have a foul call, too. Another foul on Wyandanch. And the crowd, there's Carl Gainey. He is not too pleased with some of the calls made, as Matt Bruss will be going to the line when we return. Stan, let's talk a little bit about how the tournament's going to be set up. Of course, all the A teams will be the big schools, the Ward Melvilles, the Brentwoods, we saw earlier on the LIS, and they'll be involved in the A tournament. The B tournament will have 6 teams only. Amityville, the champs here in League 6, or potential champs, so at least be co-champs. Babylon and Port Jefferson, Miller Place, LaSalle, and East Hampton will all be in the B tournament. The C tournament will have Southampton, Mattatuck, Wyandanch, and Hampton Bays. Now, what will happen is the D tournament winner, and there will be a D tournament involving the much smaller schools like Greenport out east. They'll play the C tournament, and then the winner of that will play the winner of the B, and the winner of the B, C, or D will end up playing the A.
Now, I knew what it was all about until you made that explanation.
Oh, no.
But really what it's going to be is a 24-team tournament, and we're going to end up with a county championship. And that's the way it should be. Now, Nassau County does not have a county championship. They have their classification, they have their winners, they go on to the state, and I would really like to see, and it's more than a bragging right, it's to show the people in the county who's the best ball player. And the final game, Barry, is played somewhere in Never Never Land, upstate.
Right. The small schools have a chance in basketball. A Southampton can knock off an A school, a D school, potentially a Greenport with a great game, or a Bridgehampton could knock off. And it's happened before, and it gives the little guy a chance. And unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way in Nassau County. They did have a county championship, but they've decided to go with the AB tournament, and that's the way things are going. All right, Matt Bruss, as we get back to the action here. At the line, his club leading by 3. He is 0 for 6 from the line. His team 3 for 16 from the charity stripe. Bruss looking for his 21st point, and he's got it.
I would have bet my salary on that shot, and he's going to knock this one in too. But this time I'll bet your salary on it.
Hold on now. He's going to make 2 in a row. Yep. Thank you, Stan. 5-point lead, 22 points for Bruss, 6 below his season average. And Bryson now in the ball game, number 11 for Wyandanch. So they've changed point guards inside off the glass. Darrell Lucas, brother of Dwight Lucas, of the Lucas brothers combining here. Kevin Brown still on the bench, as Stan predicted he would be. Bruss stolen away by Bryson. 41-40. It's a 1-point ball game. Bryson picking the pocket of Matt Bruss.
And Wyandanch playing the game they play so well. Run and jump, put pressure on the ball, and get that ball inside. They're just as effective offensively as they are defensively.
3:24 to go in the game, and this place ready to explode. The Babylon and Wyandanch fans enjoying a dandy. Bruss down low. Look at the spin on the ball put up by Bruss. 43-40, 24 for Bruss.
You're going to see the steal on this play. Matt Bruss is going to get his pockets picked. And there it comes, and it's going to be 2 points.
Back to the live action. Wyandanch with it. The pull-up is going to be no good. The follow by Lucas, no good. And who's got it? Number 52, Matt Bruss. Babylon by 3, 2:45 to go. Babylon trying to even the record against Wyandanch this year. Bruss driving down the lane, foul before the shot, and Wyandanch can't believe the call. Mike Francis unhappy. I believe the foul will be on Lucas, Darrell Lucas. Carl Ganny talking to the official.
Now that's the kind of face that you really wouldn't want to say no to. But he is not getting his way. The officials are trying to call a straight and honest game, but the calls are going the Babylon way because the Babylon players are making things happen.
Second foul on Darrell Lucas, and the free throw shooting 5 for 18, I believe, for Babylon. And Matt Bruss, who just got off the schneid, hitting 2 in a row, looking for his 25th point. Matt had 25 points in the first game against Babylon. He has a 1-and-1 here. 2:41 to go. Babylon 44, Wyandanch 40.
Even when Matt misses, the ball is on that front of the rim, and a good shooter's got to get the back of the ball over the front of the rim. He's a 1/4 of an inch away when he misses, but he's got to get it over that rim.
And he rolls it around for another, and it's 45-40. Big possession for Wyandanch. They're down by 5, 2:35 to go. Bryson guarded tightly by Lazarus. Bryson going baseline, tripped as he went along the line, and Bryson will be going to the free throw line. Bryson, who shoots 60% from the line, averaging 3 points a ball game. They call him D-Lo.
So he's a stimulant. Since he's been inserted into the ball game, the defenses have picked up a couple notches on their velocity. They're playing with more purpose. He's running the offense well.
Bruss commits the foul, Stan, his 4th. So keep an eye on that. He fouled out earlier this week against Port Jeff.
He doesn't want to lose that step offensively. Matt Bruss doesn't want to lose that step. He's got to go to the hole.
1-and-1 for Bryson, no good. Lucas with a follow, and he was fouled.
Right.
And if it's on Bruss, he's all over. And it is on Bruss. The Wyandanch bench up clapping, and now Carl Ganey says, hey, sit down, fellas. But Lucas got the rebound. Darrell Lucas, only a sophomore at 6'6", could be the best scorer in Wyandanch history, according to Carl Ganey. And here's the definite call.
You're going to see Darrell Lucas push off. Now, Darrell Lucas pushed off, knocked Tommy Ryan down. There's the rebound, another rebound, and the call is on Matt Bruss, but that's all that matters. The push wasn't called, the shove was.
There's Matt getting the handshakes from the Wyandanch players. They're just happy to see him leave. And he'll sit down with 24 points into the ball game for the first time. Dave Godfrey, what pressure on him. 6'1", 160-pound junior, averaging 2 points. Started several games because of injuries and illness. Has good hands, has improved a lot, was very inexperienced, has matured, but his defense is weak. However, he does go to the boards well. They're going to try to ice the free throw shooter a little bit here. Timeout taken. 2:27 to go as the Wyandanch cheerleaders come onto the court. And let's acknowledge their presence here. Lovely group led by their captains, Ramalyn Benjamin and Lisa Newton, the co-captain. Other girls out there, Charnette Brown, Robin Brunson, Lactia Phillips, Darlette Fortress, Greta Camardi, and Lisa Brown. There's Greg Walsh. Let's see if we can tune in on him.
Got to help. Weak side has got to help on the lob. All right, let's go to work.
Let's go, Bob! Come on! Remember now, it's 2
He feels that the ball's going to go inside. He wants to get a lot of white shirts surrounding that ball. Now, if again, in the first game, I said as a college coach coming into a ball game and evaluating a player, when a player goes out of the ball game, you can learn so much about him. Now, you watch Matt Bruss. Here's where you'll fall in love with the guy. He'll root for his team. He'll give high fives, low fives. He'll pat everybody on the back. He'll keep everybody on the team going. So if you're a scout and you're looking for ball players, what you're going to do is look at ball players when they're away from the ball. That's where you learn character.
At the line will be Darryl Lucas. He has 2 points, 1 field goal. His team down by 5 here with 2:27 to go. He'll be shooting 2. A 37% free throw shooter. And he'll have 1 more. Darryl's high 16 points. He's not shy about shooting, this guy.
He's got to get a pre-shot ritual down, a routine. Now, he changed his routine. I felt the ball was going to go out. Let's see if he steadies his routine.
Makes 1 of 2, and here's Kevin Brown back in the ball game. Darryl Lucas, the sophomore, sits down, and let's see if they go inside to the big 6'10" Kevin Brown. As he's back in with his club down by 4, they'll press all over the court. Cronin, played by Bryson. They've got to bring it across, of course, in 10 seconds, and Cronin will. Cronin, not a great ball handler. Lazarus is a better one.
Watch the 5-second call. I would want the official to beat with his hand.
Remember, McGowan and Ryan took over when Pruss fouled out earlier this week against Port Jefferson. Going down hard was Ryan. No foul call. 2:01 to go. Babylon by 4. Cronin going to be fouled by Bryson. And Pat Cronin will be going to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. It'll be the first on Bryson. Well, this president of the senior class, who takes very few shots, a smart player, 0 for 3 at the line, Carl Gainey. Look at that look.
Well, he can make anyone lose their concentration. You're looking over at him. But here's number 20 at the foul line, Pat Cronin. There isn't a more important free throw for this ball club than right now.
46-41, and the Babylon fans jamming the sidelines, enjoying it, as Cronin has his first point of the day.
This ball game is more important than just winning it. These young men out here want to prove that the Babylon Panthers means more than just a Matt Bruss on their club. They're together, they're a family, one for all for one.
1:50 to go, Wyandanch down by 5. Francis, the guy, can hit the outside jumper. Over to Bryson. Long-range shot from outside, no good. The rebound to Ryan. As firing it up from outside, Ulyss Bird.
Now here's a different technique. Look at the official pump his hand. He should be pumping his hand on a 5-second call. There he is. He's pumping his hand. That's what I would want from an official.
1:25 to go in the game. Babylon by 5. Cronin to Lazarus.
The defensive man controls the offensive man for 5 seconds on a dribble. It's a violation. Green gets it.
Godfrey in the corner to Cronin. Now to Lazarus. They're looking for the steal here. Good play, Godfrey. Back outside with 1 minute to go and a 5-point lead. They've got to foul soon, Stan. They've got to get the ball. Lazarus, 51 seconds to go, and he's finally fouled. And he'll go to the line as Wyatt Lucas commits the foul.
Intentional foul, 2 shots.
Good job and a smart effort by the Babylon Panthers. Just as you pointed out earlier, a very heady ball club. They may not have all the talent. They're overachievers, but they know the game out there.
I've seen them twice now, and both times they've played the last 2, 3, 4 minutes without Matt Bruss, and they have proven to me that they are winners. They like Matt Bruss. They go to Matt Bruss. They're part of Matt Bruss's game, but they are an entity upon themselves.
Matt Lazarus will have another one, looking for his first point. He's a 60% free throw shooter. National Honor Society, vice president of the senior class, football wide receiver, baseball outfielder.
But you cannot over-try on the foul line. This is where you got to lie to yourself and say this isn't important.
So it's a 6-point ball game, 3 possessions, and there's the cheerleader, Matt Bruss. Babylon looking to wrap it up. Bryson misses, and big rebound for Tommy Ryan, and he's fouled. That could just about do it. With 42 seconds to go, Kevin Brown unhappy with Bryson. He had a couple of words for his teammate. Said, why didn't you get the ball inside to me? Nevertheless, there's the arithmetic. Ryan at the line, and the Babylon fans going whoopee on the far side. Panthers looking to go 10-2 in the league, 16-2 overall. Brown with 40 seconds. They're down by 3 buckets. Knocked away by Lazarus, recovered. Francis knocked away again. Look at Matty Lazarus knock that ball away. And a foul again on Wyandanch.
Certainly a great victory for this Panther Ball Club. They have won, they've clinched a first-place tie in their League 6. They are champions of League 6 along with Amityville.
Stan, that's going to be an interesting tournament for the B-State classification. We'll, of course, televise the Nassau versus Suffolk B. Malvern, Roosevelt, maybe a couple of the teams coming out of Nassau for B. You've got Amityville, Babylon, Port Jefferson, Miller Place, East Hampton. Any one of those 5 could be representing Suffolk County.
It's a whole new season when this is over, and it's called sudden death.
Clyde Lucas fouls out with 11 points. And at the free throw line will be Billy McGowan, who has 11 points. McGowan had all 11 in the first half. Had 16 points against Riverhead in his last ball game, a high of 17 this year against Lindy. And there's Greg Walsh, and there's Matt Bruss.
And right next to him, Bobby Mayo, a great ball player that played for Roy Coble. And next to him, Donnie Botch. Donnie Botch played at Harbor Fields. He's 38 years old now, 39 years old, and he was one of the first players I ever coached in Suffolk County when he played at Harbor Fields.
Yeah, another 3-sport player. Billy McGowan, football, baseball, and basketball. Just about ices it. It's a 7-point lead. They're going to need 4 baskets here. Steady, consistent, excellent defensive player. Likes to go inside. He was sick the last couple of weeks. Did not play well up until the last couple of games this week, and really has come on. Down to 25 seconds left for Wyandanch. Lucas. Darryl Lucas makes it 48-43. 15 seconds to go. Make that 18 seconds to go, and a foul. 1-1 coming up for Babylon. It's going to take a miracle here for Wyandanch to win it. Babylon tried to help him by missing a lot of free throws in the 4th quarter early, Stan.
But they executed when they had to execute. And this Matt Lazarus, if you don't think he's playing with pain, you got another guess coming. His ankle is bad. In fact, it was so bad they should have taped both ankles together for him to play. He would have hopped out here and done a job on defense if he had to.
Well, his right ankle is definitely taped. It's white tape. Look as he limps off. Starting to probably feel it now. But what a gutsy kid. Stan, the alumni of Babylon have been tremendous over the years. Of course, Everett Oliver played last year in this club. He's at Suffolk West. Wayne Smallwood, Oswego. Steve Schlusser at Binghamton. Brian and Glenn Vickers went on to play at Iona and do great up there. Steve Farley at Western Maryland. And Wyandanch, of course, has had some fine players as well, as we're getting ready for Lazarus to shoot the free throws here.
Matt's brother Chris is playing in Holland, playing for Rotterdam.
Played, of course, at North Carolina, briefly in a backup role. Wyandanch needs a 3-point play here. Unfortunately, they're not going to get it. Traveling called on Francis in the corner. 13 seconds to go. Babylon will get the ball back, and another timeout taken. So this one just about history. And as we started to mention some of the Wyandanch youngsters, Kim Rivers. Remember Kim Rivers, Stan, Florida A&M. He was their first all-county player. Andy Vassell, we saw him play earlier for Stony Brook this year. Derek Wilkins at Adirondack Junior College. James Williams at Suffolk Community West. Charles Jackson attending Kent State earlier. And a lot of good players coming out of both schools. They've had great basketball traditions.
Of course, as you know, Wyandanch gets an automatic bid, and they'll be in the C classification.
Yep, and the teams in that, Southampton, Mattituck, Wyandanch, and Hampton Bays. Looks like the Southampton-Wyandanch game would be a dandy stand. Southampton we haven't seen this year, but they've been playing great ball as Lazarus is fouled with 9 seconds to go.
That automatic bid, though, I think has hurt Wyandanch, because Carl Gainey has told me that this is a ball club, the talented ball club, maybe the best talent he's had in a long time there, but he's disappointed in the intensity and the purpose in practice every day. And on the other hand, if you see Babylon practice every day, every single drill is a Super Bowl. And that's the way life has to be. Every drill. You got to live life like you're going to live forever, but you got to work. You got to work every moment for that.
Lazarus increases the lead to 49-43. He has 2 points in the ball game. Here's a guy, you look at the box score, 2 points. You say, I didn't have much of a ball game, but when you watch the game, it's a different story. 2 free throws adding to the 50-43 score. Babylon contesting down to the end as Francis scores 50-45. That will do it. League champions, the Babylon Panthers. They go 10-2 on the league and tie Amityville for the title. What a week for Babylon. 3 tough victories, 2 on the road, overtime against Port Jeff. They beat Riverhead at Riverhead and come home to beat the state champs Wyandanch.
And they did it as a team.
50-45 the final, and the players shaking hands. There's George Cooper shaking hands with Matt Brust, a couple of great athletes. They play against each other in football and in basketball. We'll be back with our Loco Outstanding Player Award and a chat with winning coach Greg Walsh when we return. You're watching the Long Island Sports Network. Courtside at Babylon High School, a jubilant crowd as Babylon has defeated their arch rivals Wyandanch 50-45 and are now co-champs of League 6 with Amityville, a record of 10-2. To present our Loco Outstanding Player Award, Mr. Ken Johnson from the Long Island Lighting Company in Brentwood. And Ken, Matt Brust, 24 points. He was on the bench when his club finally won it, but they wouldn't have been there except for him.
Fantastic game, Barry. Matt, on my behalf, congratulations to you and your team. However, most importantly, from the lighting company, the management and the employees, I'd like to present with you the most valuable player for today's game. It's always been Loco's pleasure to support sports here on Long Island. Congratulations again.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Matt, this is a game you guys wanted. What a week it's been for your guys. 3 victories, an overtime win, a big win against Riverhead, and you come home today and win the championship at home.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot. We worked hard all week long, and we just took each game at a time. And we wanted to win bad, and we did.
Matt, what about today's ball game? Let's talk a little bit about it. Of course, you got off high in the beginning of the ball game. They made a run at you. What did you think was the difference?
I just think we outplayed them. You know, we played hard. We kept up our intensity all game. It was the whole team. The whole team couldn't. It was everyone.
You know, you mentioned the whole team, and 2 of the 3 games that your club has won this week, you've been fouled out. You were leading the cheers. You were right there, and your club did a great job without you out there.
Oh, everyone on this team is just for one thing. It's no eyes on this team. It's what it is. It's a team, and everyone's going to do it, and not one person's going to do it.
All right, Matt, on to the playoffs. You're in the B playoff level.
Yeah.
What about your chances?
I think we have very good chances. We're a young team, but we've won, and we've been successful. And I think we're going to do it.
Matt Brust, our Loco Outstanding Player, 24 points, a super all-around game. Let's go to Stan Kellner and Greg Walsh.
League champs, 6 co-champs, I should say. This is the staff that did it. A great coaching staff. Bobby Mayo, he's the only guy as funny looking as I am. Greg Walsh, super job. And Donnie Botch still can't do a drop step well, but he looks awfully good for 40 years of age. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. You told me everything I know, remember. Let me say something. My junior high coach right here, Stan Kellner.
Coach.
That was terrific. You saw the kids play. You know, we didn't shoot well from the line, which is something that we normally do, but the kids really play well.
Was that Bobby Mayo's fault?
Yeah, it usually is.
What do you want to say about these 2 guys flanking you?
They're the best staff we have. They're the best staff on the island. I mean, they're loyal. They They do everything that we want. It doesn't matter their W's and L's. They do it. They run what we need, and it's terrific. They scout for us. They do everything. It's really great.
The odd trio. Here you are. But I'll tell you one thing. Lazarus, I don't know who did the job on Lazarus, but I thought you were going to take both of those feet together, and he still would have played for you.
Yeah, he had hurt his ankle at halftime, and he hurt his thumb in the third quarter, but he just played. He's a tough kid, and that's the way we have to play. You've seen us play. That's the way we have to do it. Can't do it on finesse.
Coach, a real thrill for you, too. You're really part of this family.
That's right. Come back home here. That was my alma mater.
You know, you won the last 2 ball games with Superman on the bench.
That's right. 2 out of 3. That's true, and the kids have gained a lot of confidence that way. And we're all together. When he's out of the game's not over. Well, I think Wyandanch kind of felt that way, but it wasn't that way. You know, the kids just hung in there.
I think your ball club scores more three-point plays than anybody in the history of basketball. How do you do that?
Well, when you make somebody play your defense down on the square, we should make a number of them. And if they have to play us, they're going to foul us. And that's what we do.
Can I tell you a truth? Roy Coble and I went out to lunch between ball games. You know, we don't miss coaching, neither one of us, except when we see you guys play. I'll tell you, you really make it wonderful. I got goosebumps on goosebumps watching you guys play. Super job, just a super job with these kids behind me, all overachievers. In fact, let me say this, overachievers. Now, Barry and I will be back for a wrap-up. You're watching LISN.